What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Nerdy Volume Podcast. It's been a hot minute, but here we are once again, and we bring you something dope, something we've been waiting on for a very long time. I just smashed my mic. Dune 2, everybody. Dune 2. Oh my gosh, it's been 3 years. And of course, it has some people that you may or may not like. I don't know. It depends, I guess. I know people who don't like him. But Timothy Chalamet. I'm just, my bad, bro. I'm sorry. And Zendaya, of course. And then Thanos. Thanos is in this. What's going on? But, we're going to break it down, give you what we think, and all that sweet nectar in between. So sit back, relax, and turn it to 11.
Well, it's Dune Part 2, the movie where we see the young Prince Paul Atreides.
Duke.
That's right. He's a Duke. No, that's right. Sorry, Duke Leto. I didn't want to forget your memory, dude. Anyway, Paul Atreides he is a fugitive, essentially, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
He's just on the run.
Well,
he's on the run.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to kill him.
From the Harkonnen.
And the Empire.
And the Empire. Yep. If you guys haven't seen this or the first movie, but you're watching the second film review, stop right now, go watch it, and come back. Okay.
And how is it you haven't watched Dune Part 1 to begin with? It's been 3 years.
What made you just hit play? Or unless the listeners stumble it, they're just like kind of listening, and then like, oh, I didn't watch this yet. Sorry about that. But so Paul is on the run from the Harkonnen, trying to end his life, and he is now with the Freemen of Arrakis. He has been living with them. He also fought Jamis. I don't know how to say his name. Is it Jamis?
Yeah, Jamis.
He fought Jamis and he won, and I believe that is how he got his passage into the citizen or the
Fremen community, I guess you could say.
A community, yeah. And so, that's how we start off. And I got to say that the first movie for me, I had no idea what was going on. I'm like, okay, cool. But the second movie was a lot easier to digest because I know what happened from the first movie.
Yeah.
So, for my first impression of the movie was, this is good. This is a good movie.
I think
the first movie was like
I think you gave it a B- in the first review that we did for Dune Part 1.
Mm-hmm. And that's me not understanding what's going on. I mean, I understood the flow of the story. I just didn't know why everybody was just like, oh my gosh, doing this, doing that. I was like, I've never heard of this. So
no, I agree. Yeah, I remember. I think I mentioned it in the first review that we did. I remember watching Dune, the original movie that came out, I think in the 80s.
Yep.
And that was weird, super weird. I honestly thought I was high for a moment because it was very confusing and things were happening. There were worms not the worms from oh my gosh, I forgot what the planet Arrakis. Not the worms from Arrakis, but the worms that travel through time and space. Really weird stuff was happening. It blew my mind. But the second one was a lot more modern, a lot more easier to digest because there were some graphic stuff that was in the original that was like, oh, this is real bad. But I understand. You're just technologically, you're not there. So you can only do with what you got. And I'm pretty sure maybe for their time, it was pretty advanced stuff. Like Star Trek was super advanced for its time. Star Wars was super advanced for its time. So, I'm not trying to hate. You guys did what you did and you worked hard. But yeah, no, I completely agree. Like even watching Part 1, right? The one that came out in 2021. I was like, am I missing some information? Like it was dense. There was a lot of dense stuff and you were kind of like trying to catch up the whole time, trying to understand what was going on. It's like, why is the Emperor trying to kill, or why is the Emperor using the Harkonnens to kill the Atreides, right? And you're just sitting there going, what the heck is going on? And it was kind of like, difficult. And then I think I mentioned something about like their what I forgot what they're called. Their what was it called? Their suits, the suits that they wear, that recycles the water for them.
I don't know the name of the suit.
I forgot. Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff.
I know. It'll come in my mind here in a moment. But I was watching that, and I was just sitting there thinking to myself, "What the heck is this?" And all. Yeah. So it was crazy for sure. And then I agree. The second one was a little bit easier to follow along with because we kind of had general idea of the first movie, part one, right? So it was crazy, but it was good. I definitely think I like the second one more than the first for sure. You know, so suits. Yeah. Steel suits. That's what they're called. I'm like, I know it's suits.
Yeah, I would have not known that. I thought it was like some kind of like, you know, because like, so I had to research what the name of the worms were because I don't know where phonetically where certain words are supposed to be put.
Yeah.
So I had to look up the names of the worms, like Shai-Hulud. I don't even know if I'm saying it correctly. But Shai-Hulud is the giant worms.
Sure. Yeah.
They look like just like movable Long John pastries.
The worms is how I call them. Right. Or in the book, I don't remember because just so you guys know, I just finished reading the book because I was like, you know what, let me read the book. Let me see how it goes. And in the book, usually they either called them worms. I know that Shai-Hulud, I think, was in it at some point. Like it was like the ritual name for them. But they would also just call them the makers. They would, you know.
The makers.
Yeah, they were just makers. Cool. I think it's because they were associated with making the spice. So.
Oh, the melange.
The melange. Yeah.
The melange, which it's always funny whenever I see that melange or hear it because there's a melange gel that would help your mana and your health in fantasy games like the Tales series.
Oh.
So seeing that in Dune, excuse me, was really cool.
Does it turn your eye blue in the game too?
Avatar-ish now. Okay, so the movie. So okay, we also get introduced to new characters like Fade Rauta. Rauta. Fade. He's Harkonnen cousin. Nephew.
Yeah. Rotha. Fade Rotha.
Rotha. Yeah.
The non-Baron.
What is a non-Baron?
It's like second in command. He's the one who's going to take the place of the Baron, right?
Oh, almost like a crown prince.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's crazy. And so you meet him, you know, he's played by Austin Butler. He did not have any eyebrows, which is funny.
I have a cousin who doesn't have
laughing when I saw his face.
I have a cousin who doesn't have any eyebrows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's just not like invisible?
Nope. On my mom's side of the family, they have a gene that doesn't allow them to grow body hair. So my mom has no body hair whatsoever. So she's never learned how to shave her armpits. A blessing, I guess, for her. But my cousin got it, and he has no eyebrows, which is very interesting to see sometimes.
Is that gene being studied at all? I mean, because like, you know,
you would activate it in some random people.
Like, yeah, right. Yeah. Can you imagine this? Like a bunch of people who are in love with their beards, just like someone poisoned them.
I blame that gene on my patchy beard. That's what I blame it on.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, he definitely had no eyebrows. He's like as white as a ghost. It's like he is pale.
Yeah.
But then I guess that's all of the Harkonnens for the most part.
And their whole planet is black and white.
Yeah, it's super weird, right? Like it was aesthetically really amazing to look at. But I'm like,
yeah,
is it supposed to be black and white, or is it just because the sun is so bright that it's like kind of blinding and you only see these two contrasts? Right. What's going on? I'm a little confused, but it was really cool to see. And yeah, the freaking Fade Rotha is a beast. He is a killer, right? He does not mess with
dinner.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. He sure did.
Oh, speaking of Harkonnen or the planet that they're from, did you see the fireworks?
They're like
I thought the fireworks
water
balloons like exploding.
It was really cool. I thought it was awesome.
I thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, yo, this is cool. Like, this is new. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's the little things.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty dope too.
Mm-hmm. And I was just like, when they brought the other Atreides warriors to fight Fade Rotha, like they were all like drugged and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, so the Atreides were that strong. You know what I mean? And then the tallest guy, or the tallest guy of the three people that Fade Rotha fought in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
That dude was freaking jacked. I was just like, I mean, like thinking about it logically, like that dude at that size towards Fade Rotha, ain't no way Fade Rotha is gonna win. Like, just thinking weight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Weight, age, battle experience, But I was just saying, how are you gonna do that? You're gonna display strength, and these guys are weak. I was like, But they left that one, the Asian cat, the one that betrayed them all. They left him, right? That was him, right?
No. No, he died in the first one.
And who was that? Who was that old man at the end?
The one that was fighting Fade Rotha? He was just a Harkonnen. I'm sorry, Atreides soldier that they captured. Yeah. Because the doctor died in the first one. Yeah. What's his face killed him? The Baron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Baron killed.
Then his name was Roger Yuan.
And he was the only one. He was the only one that wasn't drugged. Right? They left him undrugged because the Baron wanted to see if he could kill his nephew, who is Fade Rotha, which he didn't. Which was pretty crazy. And then I that was because you said something about like they're jacked. They're like, holy smokes, they're like hardcore fighters or whatever, right? And it was that was part of the reason why the Emperor secretly ordered the Harkonnens to kill the Atreides because so the Emperor has his own private army, right? Who are called like the Sardaukar, which were the black soldiers, the ones that were all in black.
Oh, yeah,
those are the Sardaukar.
All from the
exactly.
Okay,
and they were the Emperor's soldiers. But like they're supposed to be like the strongest soldiers of all time and everything. Like they're like nobody should be able to beat them. But the Atreides, Leto Atreides, kind of his army was almost as strong as the Emperor's army. So that's why he was getting too powerful as the Duke.
That's crazy. And can you imagine you're gonna take your whole like crew to work to just get murked by like a competitive company from your bosses?
Yeah, crazy.
I mean? Imagine?
Crazy.
Oh,
and when you think about it, like the whole house of Atreides left their planet to go to Arrakis. That's crazy. The whole planet just like whoop, uprooted. Let's go. We're gonna live here now, which is the polar opposite, right? Because I forgot what their planet was called, like Hera, something like that. It was like beautiful, lush green water everywhere, and then they go to a freaking desert. It was crazy, but I mean, Fade Rotha, pretty amazing. His character was kind of scary. Obviously, you can tell he was very unhinged. He was just killing people back like left and right for no freaking reason when he wasn't killing people in the Coliseum. And obviously he was going to become the Baron after the Baron. Vladimir Harkonnen. I just remember his name. My boy Vlad.
Yeah, he was also the one of the doctors in Thor.
Was he really? Oh, he was.
Yeah,
he was. I just didn't recognize him with the bald head.
Yep, and the extremely large body.
Yeah, the head be dude floated everywhere.
I'm all like, how can you be in those bodysuits in that movie? I was like, that's got to be uncomfortably hot, especially for Vladimir, because he has to be in a suit underneath it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm like,
I would hope that they've made these suits so that they have like holes in them underneath the clothes that they could just put like vents to and just blows the air when you're offset and you're just sitting there waiting and it just keeps you nice and cool. Because I would have been, I agree. Phone. I wonder how hot it is in one of those like fat suits and whatnot. That would be crazy.
Right. Oh yeah. So I have there's this thing I saw online, or I think it was either TikTok or Instagram. I forget. One of the two. It was a reel, and this funny dude was talking about Zendaya's character from the first movie. How every time you see her, like it'd be like a very serious scene between father and son, or Stilgar and Duke Leto, super huge, and then all of a sudden pans off to Zendaya just chilling in the wind. She's just looking at you, her whole body as a silhouette, the sky in the back, sand underneath her feet, and just music. And I was like, that's Zendaya's scene. Boom, go back to something else, like the Harkonnen or something like that. Like, I thought that was so funny because in this movie, this time Chani or Zendaya speaks. She spoke. And I'm like, finally, she's not just looking at the camera like, you know?
I don't have any lines yet.
No lines yet because I'm not there.
Their script is like 1,000 pages long, and she's like going through hers like, when do I start talking? And it's like last page, the last page when he's fighting what's his name? Jameis. He's like, yeah, you were a little too loud, or you went up the wrong way. That's all I gotta say. Like, don't worry, you got more lines in part 2. Don't worry.
Part 2. So, did we get picked up? It's like, it's not a series.
No, but yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's why when I first saw it, I was just like, Zendaya's character Chani had no relevance in the first movie, and then I'm thinking about it. The book now, is the book that way? It's like, as me and my father set off for war, this happens, and then all of a sudden, chapter 1, silhouette, sand, woman standing there, wind staring at me. Who is she? You know,
actually,
there's a little insert.
Partially. Before he meets her, yeah, he's like, I saw this woman in my dream. She was standing there. It was literally like that.
And it stops. I got stabbed in the stomach. I can't breathe. Everything is crashing around. I'm like,
that's hilarious.
I can only imagine.
Too funny.
Because, I mean, I recently finished the book that we were told to read, the Verity book.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand some of the book TikTok videos that I've seen where sometimes you skip like 2 pages and like all of a sudden it's action, but you were just in a calm area and you don't know how you got to that part of the book, you know? So that reminds me of that when Zendaya would show up in the screen.
Yeah.
And it always felt like there's going to be like a new chapter in Paul's life whenever Chani was in frame. So that's why I felt like it was really cool to see that, how would I say, the transition between first movie and the second movie, Chani, and how she actually is actively changing the life of Paul Atreides.
Yeah.
Where Paul was probably dreaming of some woman that she had no idea who she was. And then you have his mom, who all of a sudden, I don't know why, but when the mom became a part of the Freeman motherhood or whatever, because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, yo, is she just like all of a sudden just like bulldozing her way into politics? Well, that's the first thing I thought.
Well, that's interesting, right? Because I mean, technically, she's always been part of the politics. She married in Duke. She never married. Sorry, she became Duke Leto's concubine because she was Bene Gesserit, right? And Bene Gesserit, the way that I understand Bene Gesserits, they're like the Illuminati. Yeah. The Illuminati. Like they're working Hydra. Hydra, exactly. Actually, Hydra is probably a better example. They're working all these things behind the scenes to and their whole purpose is to mate certain groups of families together so that eventually the Lisan al-Gaib, that how the Fremens know it, right, will eventually become a real person. So, and she was part of that. Now, she wasn't supposed to have a boy because only
she wasn't.
Bene Gesserit's only supposed to have girls, but she's like, nah, man, my boy wants a boy, so I'm gonna give him one, right? Which is kind of crazy.
And
like
I like him.
I
like this
exactly. Which is crazy because like you could control like the kind, like whether or not your baby's gonna be a boy or a girl is kind of crazy. That's how much like magic powers they have, or whatever you want to call it, science. But yeah, no, definitely she's a politician from beginning to end. She was grooming Paul to be a certain way, right? To become there's another word for it. I can't remember what they call the savior or whatever you want to call them. But yes, definitely politician. The reason why she became the mother, the Reverend Mother, that's what it was. The reason why she became the Reverend Mother was because the old Reverend Mother of the Freeman or the Fremen was dying, and so they're like, oh, we need a new one, and so they put her in her spot. They put her in that spot. But yeah, definitely she was in the background the whole time, manipulating and making sure, and obviously trying to like subliminal message the Fremen in believing that her son is the Lisan Al Gaib, right? So like, he's the one you're looking for. He's the one you're looking for.
She's like, and it's almost like she made him that.
But 100%.
But for him, it was like a birthright. Not so much that she didn't have to do anything. It was going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, he was it one way or the other. So 100%.
That, by the way, sorry for interrupting. That took a crazy turn in the story for me. Like when I'm like, why is everybody tripping about Paul Atreides? Like on the Bene Gesserit, the sisterhood. I'm gonna call them the sisterhood.
Yeah.
So I was just like, why is he such a big deal? I mean, he's born already. Like have another kid, but apparently he was supposed to be a girl. And I didn't know that at the time. So, obviously I haven't read the books. So I'm watching this movie and like just trying to understand as it unfolds. And I'm like, oh, he's not supposed to be born.
Yeah. Not that way, at least.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, snap. He has prophetic dreams when drinking worm gut. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. The life water or water of life.
Yeah. I call it worm gut.
Yeah. I mean, that's practically what I mean. What else is it?
I mean, it almost looks like the cure that Dr. Freeze got for Batman to save his wife. Remember? It was like that, almost like that glacier blue water for Waterboy. And I'm just all like, oh, that's kind of cool that they give him that weird blue hue in their eyes. But it almost looks more zombie-like.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. Well, since some of the bad stuff that was in the movie, I can't really think of other than like thinking logically, but I can't think logically in a fictitious world like that. Like the way that they ride the worms, I'm all like, how does that work? How does their grapples just hold on to the skin fold like that? And I'm like, I feel like it would probably snap off. I was like, do the worms not feel that? I was just like, this is wild to me. And they have to play the beats, It's like the doom, 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 doom. And then, the worm's like, oh, snap, let's go surf. It's like,
yo, that scene was crazy.
I love that. I love when they were riding it, not going to lie.
Yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, man, how do you get around this whole desert? And then you just get on the back of one of these, terrifying worms and ride it.
And they had 5 of them. That one time when they were going north, they had to go through.
Right, they had a bunch. I thought it was only going to be one, and then like as the camera pans away from the ground, you just see all of them. I'm like, oh, you just collecting them all.
Family. Yeah,
that's cool.
The Pokemon. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, so Paul Atreides gets the grandfather one. I was like, oh, they're like, he's the biggest one. I was like, how can you tell? I was like, how can we tell? I was just like, they all big. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a little outlandish, but it was cool. It was one of the cooler scenes of the movie. So I can't knock it. So as far as bad impressions of it, I don't really see it. I thought everybody did really good in this show. Bautista's character was kind of very light. He was added in here. He was like a dash of salt in this. Like he was rarely there. He's like, I'm sorry, I could do better. I was like, well, you had like 3 chances in this movie, like,
yeah, no,
2, and then let's not forget like the first or the end of the first movie. I mean, you did pretty well, but I'm pretty sure you had help, from the enemy side. Pisses me off, man. I was like, come on, dude. Duke Leto did so much for you guys, or you, Doctor, whatever your name is. Oh, and freaking Thanos.
Oh yeah,
Thanos coming in. I was just like, I thought this dude was dead. I was like, does that mean Duncan's alive? My boy Jason Momoa, you know what I'm saying? Is he back?
He's not.
Is he gonna have to shave?
He definitely died.
Because he was shaving.
He definitely died.
I didn't see it. Clothes, dude.
By the way, what the Bene Gesserit were trying to do was create the Kesset Haderach. Kesset Haderach is what Paul was becoming, the Kesset Haderach, which was like a superhuman, right? So, which is also the Lisan Al Gaib. But okay, yeah, no, I back to what you were saying. Yeah, when I saw Gurney, I was like, oh, sweet, homie's still alive, living and kicking, right? I definitely when they started like, because you see the whole scene that the Fremen are attacking all of the spice transporters, whatever you want to call it, or collectors, and then you see them. You see Helric. land on their ship and they're like, patrolling, and then they're about to get attacked. I'm like, oh snap, Paul's gonna kill him. Luckily he didn't. Yeah. I was like, no, bro, I hope you don't kill him. I don't remember that in the first in the like the original movie, but once again, a lot of weird stuff was happening, and there were parts where I actually fell asleep because it was just too much stimulation. I was like, what is happening in this movie? But
let me chill a bit.
But so here's the question: who was your favorite character?
Okay, so my favorite character will have to be Stilgar.
Stilgar?
Now Stilgar was funny in the first one because the first thing I saw when he meets Duke Leto, he spits on the ground. I was like, oh dang! It's like, oh, they're gonna fight. He's like, over here, that means that's respect. It's water. That's life water. Like, he's just like, I'm like, yeah, Stilgar. And then in this one, he was almost like a doting uncle towards Paul Atreides. He's like, no, he is the one. He is the Madib, Usul. I was like, that's so cool. And then they would pray, and the other Fremen were like the one who didn't believe in the faith. They were just talking loud. He's like, we are praying, please, shh. I was like, Stilgar's the man. He was my favorite character throughout because he put himself after, Paul Atreides did his whole coming of age ceremony, so to speak. You see that Stilgar's like, don't worry, I will be the vessel. I will fight. He kept putting himself in front, just like how all of the people that were loyal to Duke Leto and Paul, he became that person for Paul. Yeah, which was kind of funny, a funny, character trait that Stilgar had adopted. And yeah, what about you? What was your favorite character?
Who was my favorite character? I probably have to say, Stilgar for sure. Mm-hmm. Is it either between Stilgar or Gurney? Gurney was pretty dope. I mean, granted, we only see him like the second half of part 2.
Dope, though. Yeah.
But he was a dope character, and he got his vengeance on what's his face, Raban.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Which is cool. I appreciate that they gave him that because he does not get that same opportunity in the book.
Oh my gosh, isn't that funny that in Avengers, Drax is going for revenge towards Thanos, Josh Brolin. And in Dune, Josh Brolin.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. We meet again.
Yeah. Meet again on a different part of the universe.
That is crazy. I didn't even think. Whoa. Yo, that's forward thinking right there. But
yes, they got to hire more actors.
They're right here. They're right here.
They're right here. I don't know if you're listening, I'm putting my thumb and finger in like a little gun, putting it underneath my chin. All right. Mm-hmm. For those who are video podcasts, you guys know what's up.
Yep. What?
But yeah, no, but Gurney, yes, he was also really cool because like he was like almost the Alfred to Paul, as if Paul was like Batman.
Yeah.
He was almost like the Alfred. Young Alfred, not old Alfred, because old Alfred, he just sipped tea and made sure the house is dope. Young Alfred was a scrapper. That dude was, he tussled, he rumbled.
Yeah. I think he was part of wasn't he like part of the Royal Army or something like that in England?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I believe, he was like, he was like a part of an elite force.
Yeah.
Periwinkle, right? Pennyworth. There you go. Alfred Pennyworth.
Any relation to Pennyworth? Isn't that what
Pennyworth?
Isn't that what the creature from It's name was? No, Pennywise. So. Pennywise. That was Pennywise.
Pennywise. Oh,
thank goodness. Woo. One was worth it, and the other one was just wise. Apparently.
Would you rather be wise or worth it? Good question. So yeah, I would say Stilgar would be my favorite. But you want to know who comes in the second?
Who?
It's wild. It's freaking Jessica, the mom.
For whatever reason, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say Jessica. Why? Why Jessica?
Dude, she was a absolute hustler. Mind you, she's pregnant, doing all of this stuff. She's making sure everything is currying to her son's favor. She was like, my son is Madib. He is the one. So I'm going to do this. I want to drink this despite having a daughter that I'm pretty sure the sisterhood wants to have control of in the end. And I'm just all like, wow. And she she just becomes the Reverend Mother of an entire area. And I was like, does the Freeman become Atreides or something like that? I was like, what happens? I'm like, what's going on? I was like, the Freeman should be one of the most richest, or if not the richest people, right? Because they literally, their entire planet has the spice.
True.
I was just like, they could harvest it for you and then trade. I was just like, I figured that would probably be the best way to do it.
But they're being oppressed anyway, so they can't ever make any money off of that.
Massively. And their planet is kind of whack. Like, can't really, and Stilgar, he believes. He's like, yo, the Madib is going to take us to the promised land or paradise.
Yeah.
And then I feel like paradise is on the other side of the storm because, it's not easy to get over there. And so Jessica, what's up?
No, go on.
So Jessica being that, that boss babe kind of mentality, I mad respect it. I did like the fact that she did. I'm pretty sure she liked Duke Leto, pretty sure she did, but I'm not sure.
Oh, no, she loved
because
him.
of how she was.
She loved him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they loved each other. Like Duke was all about her.
Yeah.
And so, especially since
she gave him a boy.
Yeah.
Remember?
And he gave her a girl. I gotta say, like they power couple right there. So yeah, Jessica would definitely be a good second place for me.
I don't hate that. I agree. And on top of that, just to add, bro, I think you would love her even more because they definitely cut her character short in the remade version of Dune.
Okay.
Because you kind of see a little bit. Remember when they first come in contact with the Fremen after their thumpercopter, whatever the heck, the little dragonfly machine crashes, and they meet the Fremen for the first time. That's where Paul fights Jameis.
Yeah,
she whoops. They have a style of fighting that's called it slipped my mind already. What the heck? The style of fighting that they have is called, starts with a W.
Wushu.
No, it's almost like waver or waven or. Oh man, it slipped my mind. But it's like a certain style of fighting. She knows how to fight. She was fighting. Because when they first meet the Fremen, they were told that save the boy Paul because Paul is important for us. But the woman, his mother, you could do whatever you want with her. Probably like kill her, take her water or whatever, and then call it a day, right? Nah. She started fighting Stilgar and whooped him. She grappled with him and had him with a blade and everything. You kind of see that a little bit in the first part one of Dune, right? No, but she's super strong. And then that's when Stilgar is like, oh, you're definitely worth a lot more than your water. You need to be kept. You need to teach us your ways, right? And so
she's not in the movies then.
Not
very long.
Not like no. Jessica's in the movies.
It's Jessica. I thought you were talking about another.
Oh no, Jessica. Jessica is like her character is so much better than what the movies gave her credit for. I mean, other than she's got both the brains and the bronze. Okay, she's the whole package. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, you would if they gave her more credit than I think they gave her in the 2000s version, you would be like, oh, she's freaking dope. No, her character is really dope. I agree. And then she goes and becomes the Reverend Mother and still schemes and plans for her son to become leader of the Fremen. Oh, and once again, Duke of Atreides. But
when you have the Emperor and Princess Irulan come in,
yeah,
I was like, why is the Black Widow here? Why is Black Widow's sister here? Chilling with the Emperor, and he didn't really feel Emperor like Christopher Walken. He just felt like Christopher Walken. Not gonna lie, and I was like, he was just there, on set kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yes, but with Princess Irulan there, and that was got to be the funniest part, is when just before the fight with fade Rotha and Paul. You see Paul going to Chani saying, "Whatever happens, I love you," and then like skip over to the Emperor. He's like, "I'm going to marry your daughter."
Right.
And Chani just like, "What?" And I'm just like, I was like, "You forgot, huh? You forgot what he told you?" You know, man. He said, "Well, no matter what, he love you." I was like, "This is just the way that the royals work. Political marriages. That's how you know." Jeez. And I'm just like, I get it because Chani isn't used to that. She's like, you come from a line of dukes.
Yeah.
And that's what she calls him. And I was like, yeah, he does. I was like, you should have known.
He trifling.
I'm kidding.
You should have known. No, and the interesting part, because the Fremen have multiple spouses. Not all of them, but some of them had multiple spouses. They didn't just have one. Mm-hmm. Although in the movie, I don't think they did it great. They didn't really show that. But Stilgar had more than one wife in the books.
Yeah, because he's awesome.
Oh, I mean, he's the leader of that group of Fremen. So and very highly respected by all Fremens throughout Arrakis. But yeah, no, 100%. I thought that too when I was watching it. I'm like, how are you going to go and tell her you love her? As this nothing from here on out means anything, and then go right up to the princess and go, "You and I, we're getting married."
For real, dude. For real.
I was just like, that's crazy. That's crazy. You think she's not gonna take it? I will say, look, I read the book. Just like I did, literally finished it, and I will say that Chani in the book, way different from Chani in the movie. Like Chani in the book, I think it might have to do with the time that we live in now.
Oh,
right?
I see. Okay.
Like the views that people have. But Chani in the book, not that she's submissive, but she's understanding. And in the movie, she seems very against. She seems very against Paul becoming, the Lisan al-Gaib, right? Like the leader,
right.
the savior. She's very against it. But in the book, she is not against it. She's actually very much for it. She's put like, hey, you got to do these things. You got to be like this and so. And she understands. Yeah. And yeah, pretty much. And I think they also they don't give her enough credit in the movie, because in the book, she's very wise. Like Paul says to Jessica, it's like, take Chani with you, because she's a strategist. She's intelligent. She's wise. She knows how to handle situations and plan for things. So take her with you wherever you go, because she's going to help you. So, but in the movie, they just made her look like a warrior, and that's it. Like that's all she knows how to do, which is an unfortunate situation. But I still enjoyed her character. I think her character was pretty cool. But yeah, definitely in the movie when that same scene happened, where Chani was gonna be, where Paul was gonna pick up the princess, whatever her face is, Irulan, right?
Irulan,
yeah, Irulan. She was like, I understand. That was her reaction in the book. Is like, I understand, right? But the mom had the greatest line in the book, and I wish they added it in the movie. But because of the manner in which, like Chani leaving, and she like left him, and she went into the desert or whatever. In the book, the Jessica had the greatest ending line, which was, "Don't worry," because they say, "Oh, you could be the high concubine of Paul." Right. And she's like, "No, I don't want any titles." And so Paul's like, "Oh, then, you'll just be like my concubine." Right. And she sees like that kind of upsets her a little bit. And Jessica goes and says, "Don't worry, because Princess Erlan, or whatever her name is, I don't know how to pronounce her name, she will be his wife, but will never, ever get the opportunity to know what it is to be loved tenderly by him. While you, being her concubine, or being his concubine, will always know his love. And in history, she will be known as the concubine, and you will be known as his wife." It was like some kind of line like that, and I was like, "Dang, that was a dope line." And she was talking about herself too, because she never married. Jessica never married Duke Leto, right? She was always his concubine. They never got married. And so she's like, "We will always be known as their wives." Like that, like that's going to be the history for them. And I was like, "Dang, that's pretty dope." But yeah. And then, okay, so here's just one more thing. Here we go. Did you enjoy the fight scenes?
I did not enjoy them.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Why?
I didn't enjoy all of them, anyways. There wasn't enough. Well, I guess Paul Atreides, or maybe I'm just being stickler about it because
be a stickler.
Because I was watching Warrior recently, and like the fights comparison. Are good. It's not even close. Yeah, because kung fu and all. But seeing Paul and Fade Brotha fight, like it didn't feel like it didn't feel like there was a lot of back and forth volleys. It definitely felt more like a duel, kind of like fencing. Almost felt like fencing. And I'm just like, okay. I was like, maybe they didn't do a lot of like, maybe, I don't know, choreographic stuff. But
yeah,
I was like,
how you had 3 years to do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was just like, and then when especially when Fade Rotha, I would say Fade Rotha's technique I wasn't really a fan of. However, it played its part. Like, I'm not saying that it made it a bad movie. It's just that it makes sense for the genre. Like I make see because like I'm into martial arts, like watching martial arts. Like, I don't know if anybody knows, but they don't do this a lot. Like where the fighter will be fighting like this, like looking at the camera, but the enemy's behind them, and then a dude just has a kick and is boom, just kicks right there, but looking this way, right? You don't see that today, and so stuff like that. A lot of technique I'm into, but I wasn't a fan of it. Not saying that it was bad or anything like that. Just I wasn't my cup of tea.
No, I get that.
I would say when Paul was fighting, when he would fight the Harkonnens collectors, that was nice. That was nice. You know what I mean? Where he had to use his wit and had to make sure that he could get the ranged people out of his way so he can cut everybody up. Yeah. You know what I mean? I do like when they fight with weapons, but it looks more like a duel to me. But I think you like it, huh? You like it a lot?
No, I mean, I thought the fighting was okay. I enjoyed it probably more than you did. I definitely liked the big battle scenes. Those were pretty dope. Like the ending battle scene when they were attacking it. That was pretty dope. Yeah. I while you were talking right now, I did think about it, and I'm like, you know what? Idaho's scene in part 1 was definitely probably the better fight scenes.
Oh yeah,
in both movies.
Dune 1. Dune had better fight, yeah.
Yeah, with Idaho when he was fighting all the Sardakan, whatever they're called. Or they were supposed to be Harkonnens, but they were Sardakan. Yeah, that was pretty dope, right? And then he just does like this, and he goes, or whatever it was. And I'm like, I do like the Fremen have such a dope fighting like saying right before they fight. It's like, may your blade shatter. And I'm like, ooh, that's dope. No, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. That gets me battle ready. Right. I think I did enjoy. I did enjoy Paul and Fade Rotha's fight. I thought it was pretty good. Although I'm like, Fade Rotha's like, what are you doing? You're like trying to go kill Chani at the same time. I'm like, your fight is over here. Like, don't turn your back. But
looking directly at the camera.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah, no, I thought it was good without the eyebrows.
No eyebrows, super huge head.
He
was a psycho.
Oh no, 100%.
He fought like a psycho. That's probably okay. So I may have not liked the fight scenes with him in it, but he fought like a psycho.
Yeah.
So when he won, I'm like, I know why.
Although I think once again, I don't know if it's because the book explains it a little bit better, right? And so, because if you look at the fight scenes, they're kind of awkward, they're kind of slow, right? You're like, why are they moving so slow? But you have to kind of think about that that especially the noble houses, not the Fremen specifically, but the noble houses, they have their shields.
Yep.
Right. And if you move fast, the shield will repel your weapon. So you have to move slow in order for the blade to penetrate the shield. Right. So that is explained in the book, like the way they're fighting, and they're like, oh, see how he kind of like reflects a little bit so that but that doesn't get translated as well in the films. And so you might sit there and going, why are they fighting so weird? That might be the reason. If it was on purpose. If it wasn't on purpose, then it looks like they just didn't choreograph or practice their choreography enough for them to fight well.
I think in the first movie they actually kind of see that. You kind of see that the slow movement through the shield works. Yeah.
But I like I said, I enjoyed it. So any other negatives? Do you have any?
No. I think my negative was kind of more like a negative positive because of it didn't make sense on how it worked, but it looked cool. It was the worm drill surfing thing. But no, I don't think I have anything. So since you read the book, you finished it.
Yeah.
Were there any Easter eggs that you saw?
Any Easter eggs that I saw that were in the book? But
that's going to probably be the next part of the next film.
No.
Oh, interesting.
Not as I think in the movie where the scene where he has a vision of his sister and they're like Amy at the ocean Taylor? And whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever that doesn't even show up in the books, at least in the first book in Dune, right? There's 3 parts to this book, although I think there's like 10 books in total, but the 3 main books is Dune, Messiah, and Children of the Dune. I think is what the 3 main books are. And I'm guessing the movie foreshadows one of those books, probably the last one of water and all that. But no, I can't say that I think no. I can't think of any Easter eggs that I was like, oh dang, I didn't think about that. So, I
didn't even think about the sister part. That would probably be an Easter egg for the future. 100%.
Right. For the definitely for people who have read all the books and they see that part, then maybe so. I will say though, if I have any negatives that I would mention is the sister. In the book, the sister is she's born by the end of the movie. She's 4 years old by the end of the movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know why they chose not to have her be born, but she's like when Jessica drank the water of life, right? It affected the baby. And what happened was the baby got the conscience of all the Reverend Mothers that ever came to be.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why the baby is able to talk to Jessica, because it's aware now. It's aware of everything. And it kind of lost her conscience, her personality in the process of collecting all the other personalities from all the Reverend Mothers that ever was. But in the movie they didn't really do that. So when she's born, she's kind of like she acts like an adult. Even though she's 4 years old, she speaks like an adult. She walks like her whole persona is adult like. Okay. So they didn't show that in the movie because she wasn't even born yet. She's still in the womb. And in reality, in the book, they've been on Arrakis for 4 years. Paul has a son in the book.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, Paul has a son with Chani. So they have a kid. Granted, I think the reason why they didn't do that was because technically in the book, Paul is 15 years old when it all starts. So, and I think the son was like 2 years old by the end of the book. So maybe he had him when he was 17. I don't know. And maybe they're like, oh, we don't want no teenage pregnancies or situations. I don't know why they chose what they chose.
It's in a different universe.
And also, definitely, I think in the movies, I don't know if they specified how old Paul was, but I don't think they were trying to show him to be 15. I'm pretty sure they were thinking he was like a young adult, like maybe 18, 20s, somewhere around there.
That's exactly where I thought he was age was.
Yeah. Yeah, when in the books, when they're like, oh, Paul is 15, I'm like, what? Okay, if you say so. You don't look 15 in the movies. But yeah, I think that's my only complaint, is that the sister never showed up. Like, she was never born.
Yeah, only in a dream.
Yeah, that and the Emperor. But the Emperor is not even that big of a deal. The Emperor, even though he's like 80 years old, he looks like he's 35.
Yeah.
In the books, that's what they said. He's a 35-year-old, but he's actually 80. And here they obviously showed him as, Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken as the Emperor. Or the Emperor as Christopher Walken.
Or that. They like the actual what he's supposed to look like.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess it's that time to kind of figure out the grade of the movie that we have. For me, like I said, in the first movie, I had no idea what was going on. And you said I forgot what I gave, but I want to go.
I think it was a B minus.
It was a B minus. This movie did a lot better than the second one, in my opinion. I would say like a 90%, like a A, or would be an A minus. It'd be an A minus.
A minus.
I'd give it an A minus. It bumped up a full letter grade. I thought this movie was great. It was really nice. The fireworks at Harkonnen's planet was really cool.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
Yeah.
And to see the dynamics between the Harkonnen and the Atreides warriors was awesome because of how night and day they were in strength. So, I'm a big anime nerd, so seeing a lot of anime-like tropes, or I guess in this case, it'd be more sci-fi like,
Yeah.
and it's very, very it's very much home when it comes to Dune. So yeah, I'm gonna give this A minus, and the acting was incredible. I thought, especially between Paul and Stilgar and Jessica with the rest of the sisterhood.
Yeah.
Really top tier stuff, and yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed how long it was. I'm a big fan of long movies as long as they're entertaining. So I was worried while I was watching it. I was like, is this going to end once again, like, and we're going to have a part 3? I hope not. But it kept going and kept going and kept going, and it finally ended. And I was like, oh, okay, sweet. It was just a really long movie. Fantastic. I enjoyed it. No, I was just worried that like don't be cutting us off in the middle of a freaking like cliffhanger and then go part 3 coming 3 years. Although I do wonder if they're going to make the other 2 books, because it kind of left it off as if they're going to go and do that anyways. So we'll see what happens there. I give it, but I give it an A. I think I gave it an A the first time, or an A minus the first time, somewhere around there. And I think I'll stick with that. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I thought I enjoyed the fighting scenes. I thought the worm scenes were really dope. Yeah, I had a good time watching it, and I'll probably watch it again when it comes out on HBO. Probably watch both of them at the same time, so I can just have a full understanding of one part to the other, and maybe watch the old one again from the 80s and see how that goes.
Oh, geez. That's crazy about the I forgot that Dune came out in what, 2021, 2020?
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, so like that was when everything was coming back up, and it was on streaming platforms. It wasn't in the theaters.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
I remember that, because I'm just all like, why don't I remember ever watching Dune in the theaters? Because we weren't allowed in there yet.
Nope.
Wow, what a time. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this episode. Don't forget to follow us on IG, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. You can catch us on YouTube, where all of our content is at. Also, please leave a review, as it will help the podcast grow. Join our community on Discord. Thank you, everybody, for listening and hanging out with us. Don't forget to turn it to 11.
Deuces.